Good morning, dear students, and welcome to today's session. In this session, we are going to discuss the poem The Bangle Sellers, which is composed by Sarojini Naidu. This poem will be doing in two different videos. In the first video, I'll be telling you about the poet Sarojini Naidu. We'll also do a short introduction to the poem and then the first two stanzas of the poem. In the second video, we'll be doing the last two stanzas of the poem with a discussion on imagery or the images used in this particular poem. So let us begin with our discussion of the poem The Bangle Sellers. So we'll do about the poet. So let us know about the poetess, that is Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu was a great patriot, freedom fighter and poet of modern India. She was born in a Bengali family on February 13, 1879 at Hyderabad and was educated in Chennai, London and Cambridge. She took part in the national movement, became a follower of Gandhiji and fought for the attainment of Swaraj. She became the president of the Indian National Congress and later she was appointed the governor of the United Provinces, which is now known as Uttar Pradesh. Known as the Nightingale of India, she composed poetry in which swift thoughts and strong emotions sprang into lyrics by themselves. So her poetry is marked by swift thoughts and strong emotions, and these thoughts and emotions, they combine together to form lyrics. And it is this poetic quality of Sarojini Naidu, or the lyrical quality in Sarojini Naidu's poems, which gave her the title as Nightingale of India. She has given expression to the joys as well as sorrows of life. In her poem, we would find a vivid expression of the joys and sorrows of life. She was very sensitive to the beauty of living things. Her poetry, in fact, includes children's poems, nature poems, patriotic poems, and poems of love and death. These are some of the areas on which she wrote or composed poems. And as said earlier, Sarojini Naidu was called the Nightingale of India by Mahatma Gandhi. She was given this title by the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, because of her color, imagery and lyrical quality of her poetry. She actively participated in the freedom struggle and worked with Gandhiji. Her birthday is celebrated as Women's Day to recognize the powerful voices of women in India's history. Now, let us discuss in brief what the poem The Bangle Sellers is about. The poem The Bangle Sellers, which is composed by Sarojini Naidu, is actually a folk song that celebrates the values and virtues of Indian womanhood with the help of a string of images associated with the different colors of bangles. So basically the poem is a folk song, and what does the poem deal with? It celebrates, it brings forth the values and virtues of Indian womanhood. And the poet succeeds in doing that by making use of a number of images that are associated with the different colors of bangles. Now, the bangles are not just any piece of ornament that is worn by women, particularly in India, but seen at a greater level, the bangles are symbolic representation of the various stages in the life of a typical Indian woman. So the poem discusses that how these bangles which are worn by Indian women are symbolic representation of the various stages of their life. The bangle seller in the poem is trying to convince the buyers of the spiritual and symbolic importance of his bangles in a traditional Indian setup. So here the bangle seller, who is carrying his shining loads and heading towards the temple fair so that he can get a large number of prospective buyers in that temple fair, he is trying to convince his buyers that bangles are not only colorful, not only attractive to look at, but they also have their spiritual and symbolic importance in a traditional Indian setup. Now, this particular poem is actually an expression of different stages in a woman's life in a traditional Indian society. The entire concept of making a connection between different colored bangles and their role in imparting happiness to young maidens, brides, wives, and mothers is rooted in Indian culture. You see, women of different ages, different stages, they wear different color bangles. And these bangles, they show their happiness, shows their joy. So the poem not only portrays the life of traditional women, but it also portrays the life of bangle sellers. We also get to know about the life of bangle sellers also in the poem. The bangle seller, who is the narrator in the poem, who is the speaker in the poem, he makes use of a joyful voice and he presents his wares. His wares means his commodities. Here his commodity is his bangles. He presents his bangles to his prospective buyers as tokens of happiness. So these bangles are tokens of joy and happiness. The heaviness of the bangles, again you see the shining loads, where in the first two lines of the poem the bangle seller says, bangle sellers are we who bear our shining loads to the temple fair. So the heaviness of the bangles, that is referred to as shining loads, is the only reference made to the hardships of bangle sellers in the poem. Otherwise, there is no other reference to the hardship faced by the bangle sellers in this particular poem. The only hardship is that they are carrying heavy loads on their head and moving towards the temple fair, where they could get a large number of prospective buyers for their commodities. So this is what basically the poem is about. Now let us discuss the first two stanzas of the poem. The first stanza, bangle sellers are we who bear our shining loads to the temple fair. Who will buy these delicate bright rainbow tinted circles of light, lustrous tokens of radiant lives for happy daughters and happy wives. So let us try to understand the key words in this particular stanza. Shining loads. Now shining loads, here through the word shining loads, the poet is making a reference to the bangles that are being carried to the temple fair. And this is also a reference to the hardship that is faced by the bangle sellers. This is the only reference to the hardships faced by the bangle sellers, that they have to carry those loads to the temple fair. But again, this is not a load under which they are burdened. It is shining load. Shining, bright, colorful, and also can be a reference to joyful, because these bangles bring joy in the lives of women of different stages. Then the second important word here, rainbow tinted circles of light. Circles. What are circles? Bangles are circular in shape. Rainbow tinted means these bangles are multicolored. They are of different colors, just like the different colors of the rainbow. So you will find different colors of bangles in that the bangle sellers carry to the temple fair to sell. This is a metaphor. Here the poet has metaphorically compared the different colors of the bangle with the different colors of rainbow. Lustrous tokens of radiant lives. Tokens means symbols. The bangles are lustrous. Lustrous means shining, bright. They are bright and shining symbols of radiant lives. Radiant lives means happy lives, bright lives. They are meant for happy daughters and happy wives. So now let us try to understand the first stanza. Now the bangle sellers are introduced at the very beginning of the poem, and the narrator of the poem is one of those bangle sellers, and this may be a man or a woman. We don't know, because there is no indication given as to the gender of the bangle seller. So the narrator, who is one of the bangle sellers, may be a man or may be a woman, because there is no clue given in the poem as to the gender of the bangle seller. The bangle sellers are going to a temple fair to sell their bangles to earn money. Now you know why they are going to a temple fair. They could have gone to any other place, but temple fair is a place which is visited by many different people. Particularly women of different ages come to the temple fair, and they can get a large number of prospective buyers for their commodities in that particular place. So these bangle sellers are going to the temple fair to sell their bangles to earn money. And we get to know that they sell multicolored bangles to the happy maidens and happy wives. Maidens means unmarried girls. And they have a large variety of beautiful bangles. The happy maidens and happy wives, who are the prospective buyers of those bangles, they have an ample choice to select bangles of their own likings. These peddlers or the bangle sellers, they enumerate the qualities of their product by making use of adjectives like delicate, bright, rainbow tinted circles of light. So these are all adjectives to describe the bangles. So they emphasize, they enumerate the qualities of their bangles by using these adjectives. They urge the onlookers to buy those bangles for their happy daughters and happy wives. The bangle sellers are represented in one voice to emphasize that they all have the same goal and purpose, that is to sell their bangles. Now the words lustrous tokens of radiant lives. give a peep into the Indian culture and the significance that bangles are associated with moments of happiness and prosperity. And the poet has metaphorically described the bangles as rainbow tinted circles of light and lustrous tokens of radiant lives. So these bangles are meant for happy daughters and happy wives. So here in the last line of the stanza, the poetess has repeated the word happy. And by repeating the word happy, the poet has emphasized the human association with the product, that is the bangles. The daughters who expect to be married soon wear bangles to express their happy longings, their happy desires. And the wives who wear bangles express their happiness and contentment in their marital life. So basically these bangles are associated with the happy and joyous moments of our life. Now let us move to stanza 2. In stanza 2, the poetess says, "Some are meet for a maiden's wrist, silver and blue as the mountain mist. Some are flushed like the birds that dream on the tranquil brow of a woodland stream. Some are aglow with the bloom that cleaves to the limpid glory of newborn leaves." So first let us try to understand the key words in this particular stanza. Flushed. Okay. Some are meet for a maiden's wrist. Meet means suitable, meant for. A maiden's wrist. Who is a maiden? An unmarried young lady. Silver and blue as the mountain mist. Silver and blue, the color of the bangles. And they are compared with the mountain mist. The figure of speech in the second line is simile. Some are flushed like the birds that dream. Flushed means some are glowing, shining, just like the birds that dream on the tranquil brow of a woodland stream. Tranquil means quiet and peaceful. A quiet and peaceful stream that flows through the woodland. Woodland here means the land covered with the trees and bushes. Bloom. Some are aglow with the bloom that cleaves to the limpid glory of newborn leaves. Bloom means flower, limpid, clear. And newborn leaves, by the term newborn leaves, by the phrase newborn leaves, the poet is making a reference to the freshness of unmarried girls. So let us try to understand that what type of bangles are described in the second stanza, and these types of bangles are meant for which woman, okay, or meant for whom. So the second stanza primarily focuses on the bangles which are suitable for young unmarried maiden's wrist. So these type of bangles are meant for young unmarried maiden. They are colored silver and blue, resembling the mountain mist. So these bangles are silver and blue bangles, just like the mountain mist. There are some other bangles also. Some are flushed like the birds that dream. The other bangles are pink and light red in color, which is related to tender flower buds blossoming near a woodland stream. So these pink and light red colored bangles are just like the tender flower buds that blossom near a woodland stream, while there are some other bangles which are green in color. So the green colored bangles are just like the glowing flowers or the clear dewdrops that fall on the newborn leaves. So the different colored bangles which are suitable for a maiden's wrist are the silver and blue colored bangles, the pink and light red colored bangles, and the green colored bangles. And to describe these bangles, the poet has made use of a series of similes here in this particular stanza. And these different bangles, this represents the fact that in Indian society, different colored bangles are worn by women in different phases of their life. And the complete stanza, the second stanza of the poem, it depicts the youthful stage in a woman's life. Now, the expression silver and blue as the mountain mist is used for the silver and blue colored bangles, which are preferred by virgin maidens, by unmarried maidens. The poet says that the bangles which are silvery and blue in color, they are just like the mist formed on the mountains. So they are as misty as mountain, and they are preferred by the virgin maidens. Through the expression, some are aglow with the bloom newborn leaves, the poet means to say that some of the bangles are shining green in color, and their freshness is close to the vivid beauty of the newborn tender leaves. Such type of bangles are preferred by the virgin maidens who have countless longings for their married life. So when a girl is virgin, they dream of their married life, they long for their married life, they dream, they have many dreams that what they would be doing after their marriage. So in this particular stanza, the poet has described the multicolored bangles like silver, blue, pink, green, which are suitable for a maiden, and the poet has done this with the help of similes. And stanza 3 and stanza 4 we'll be doing in the next video. So thank you for watching and stay blessed.